What's up guys, Steven here, greetings from the SIGET Festival 2018. So today it's time for another camera test and we'll have a closer look at the cameras of the Xiaomi Mi Max 3. So I'll show you what's going on at the festival and also give you some tips on photography with the Mi Max 3. So let's go.
Give me a chance to make it right. Just let me touch you like the first time. We don't need answers to survive. Just let us keep on with the black guys. With the black guys.
First of all, big thanks to Trading Shenzhen for providing the phone. More information down below in the description. So before we have a closer look at the pictures, let's talk about the specs of this beauty. The rear camera is composed of a 12 megapixel shooter and a 5 megapixel depth sensor, while the front-facing camera is an 8 megapixel shooter. And speaking of photography, that's one of the headlining features of this device, because it's pretty decent for its price. Xiaomi said that AI will learn over time on how to blur backgrounds correctly. It can also apparently adapt to 206 different scenes and change how it takes the photo, so let's see if this really helps. The camera app has been kept simple, with point and shoot operations in mind. Focus point and exposure can be set by tapping on the preview image, and the mode screen offers a number of special options including panorama, beauty mode and a manual mode. The manual mode offers manual shutter speeds of up to 32 seconds, but unfortunately capture in the DNG RAW format is not part of the package. There are some software tricks to make these devices shoot RAW, but unfortunately it's not included by default. The mode screen also gives you access to the settings menu, where you can activate tap to capture, change contrast, saturation and sharpness, or display grid lines in the preview image. A few effect filters are on board as well, and overall the app is very simple and easy to use. So let's talk about the image quality. The image quality is pretty good. Images turn out to be sharp, colors and white balance is on point, and saturation is also really good for my taste. In bright light, the Mi Max 3 camera captures contrasty images with punchy colors and does a good job at keeping highlight clipping at a minimum. Sometimes you will have a few exposures that are a touch brighter than you would like, but the overall exposure system does a decent job and white balance is pretty natural as well. Detail is decent for this class of device, but if you zoom in, you will see some over-sharpening artifacts, and the low contrast areas can also show some compression. The lens is pretty sharp, not only in the center of the image, and also the outer image areas look really nice and sharp under good lighting conditions. In dim light or tricky lighting situations, like some shots against direct sunlight, you will see noise and softness, but still a quite good job for the price. HDR mode is activated by default, so it's doing a good job and it's good to leave the setting as it is. In high contrast scenes, HDR mode is capable of capturing noticeably better highlight detail than the standard mode. Still, the HDR looks quite natural and not overprocessed. Panoramas are also supported and you can record an angle of up to 180 degrees, but stop anytime by hitting the shutter button. Exposure is biased towards the first frame, which can result in some underexposure. So sometimes, like on every other phone, you will find some stitching errors. But the phone deals very well with moving objects in the scene and overall does a really decent job. The only thing which disappoints me a bit is portrait mode. Due to AI, I've hoped for a bit better edge recognition, but it still fails on it in certain areas. However, if you take care on how to take the portrait, you can get some pretty decent shots with good bokeh. Overall, in terms of image detail and noise, the Xiaomi cannot keep up with high-end smartphones like my Huawei P20 Pro, but it does a good job in bright light for a mid-ranger. Moving to low light or dimly lit scenarios, the Mi Max 3 took really good looking pictures. While you cannot compare these images to an iPhone X or P20 Pro, they are one of the best you could achieve in its price segment, beating the Honor 9i low-light performance by a mile. Focus was quick in low light as well, although the colors were a bit saturated for my taste. So if you take care and hold it really steady and focus on the right points, you can get some really good shots. If you want to point and shoot quickly, it will mostly be a bit blurry or exposure won't be on point. The selfie shooter around the front is an 8 megapixel one with an f2.0 aperture. It's not 1.7 like rumored, but the front-facing camera is quite okay. Portrait mode works fine and it's also quite detailed. But for sure there's a lot of smoothing going on like on most Chinese smartphones. Also in low light situations the front flash helps a lot and makes a huge difference. So all in all it's okay for social media pics, but definitely just mid-range. The Xiaomi Mi Max 3 is also able to capture 4K video at 30 FPS and slow motion videos with up to 120 frames per second, but only at 720p. Now videos look pretty good and have a stable frame rate. I was also surprised by the low light video quality, but see for yourself and judge.
Join the love revolution. Come on.
All in all, the Xiaomi Mi Max 3 offers plenty of display, good specs and a decent camera for the price. If you want to have more information on it, check out the link down below in the description. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you have time, come to the Sigurd Festival 2019 because this festival is just dope. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Steven from Tech Magnet and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a nice day.